Santos Jr. here on a wonderful Saturday morning, getting ready to start my day. Just finished my rituals as I usually do in the morning. What do you do when you get up early in the morning? Or when you get up in the morning? Of course, it's Saturday, right? What do you do to start your day off? I usually start my day off. I start my day off with rituals. Obviously, my rituals are incantations and affirmations. Or sometimes I'll get up immediately and I'll go to in front of the mirror and I'll begin talking to myself. Yeah, I'm a bit strange. That's what it takes to be successful. It's a small part of what I do on a daily basis. I wanted to take a few minutes out this morning and share with you some thoughts that came to my mind. And I hope that this weekend, I'm going to do my best to keep this video short, but I hope that this weekend you really think about what it is that you want to see happen in your life. I'm always talking about breakthroughs. I believe in breakthroughs. I believe in believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what it is that you're trying to do in life, you're not. It's going to be really hard for your mind to gravitate or bring the ideas from out there and from within, because your mind is a reservoir of ideas. Now, I wanted to talk a few minutes about a few things. Where are you going? Are you waiting for change to come upon you? I want you to think this morning. I do a lot of talking in my videos, obviously. I want you to think about these questions. I want you to really think about, for your life, for your family, for your future, for your finances. And lastly, start change today. I want to talk a little bit about where are you going. Yesterday, my business partner and I were out in town. I call it being in the trenches, you know, basically working on developing our business, empowering families, empowering small businesses. And we happened to find ourselves at the end of the day at McDonald's doing some brainstorming. And I was sitting there. I always look around. I just enjoy, you know, looking and checking people out, looking at the scenery around me. It's kind of part of something I call appreciating life. I sat right across these two girls. One was a little heavier than the other. The other one was thin, kind of the thinner girl. And they were both fairly young. I sat there looking at the one thinner girl, and she was like sitting there for a minute and just popping the fries into her mouth. You know, she sat just like I'm doing right now. I don't think her eyes were even blinking. And so I sat here looking at this girl. Excuse me. I sat here looking at this girl just. And that's how most people are. You know, most people aren't even aware of what they're doing. There could have been a cockroach in that thing, and she would have put it in her mouth and bit into it. You and I really need to think about where we are today. We really need to think about where we're going. And, you know, thinking doesn't come easy for us anymore. Thinking. Getting yourself away from everything and just getting a piece of paper or a pen or pad or your electronic gadget where you can put your thoughts into. We're not thinking. Most people are just not thinking. It's getting more difficult for people to sit down and think about, you know, where they may be at right now. Now, we do think. I'm not saying we don't think. We do think, but I'm talking about the discipline of getting yourself apart from everything and just sitting down for 20, 30 minutes and literally forcing yourself to think. I believe that because of that, many people are heading for some serious problems. In fact, we're already beginning to see the effects of people not thinking. And this world that we live in is very, very complex. It's getting very difficult. It's getting more. You, we're becoming more busier. We're becoming more busier doing a lot of nothing. You know, so we basically are programmed. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like we're programmed to do the same thing over and over, and we're not even consciously aware. Sometimes we're not even consciously aware of what we're doing. Like that girl that I was just talking about, that young girl sat there. It looked like she was in a daydream, like she looked like a robot right there, And I've seen, that's not the only time that I've seen, I'm sure you've noticed that too. Maybe you've looked around and seen people doing things and you question, man, look at that person, what they're doing. Are they paying attention to what they're doing? And that's where we are today, my friend. I don't know where you are in life. In fact, I was thinking about this earlier. I'm always talking about breakthroughs. What breakthroughs are you believing for this weekend? Are you believing for something great to happen, for something great to come your way this weekend? Well, I tell you, this guy here, he's all over the place. I'll let the computer play. It's a deep question that I'm asking here, and I know that time is going. I'm trying to move along here. I wanted to keep this video short. What are you waiting for change to come upon you? I think that's where most people are today. They're waiting for something to happen. They're waiting for their job to end. They're not waiting for it. They're not thinking about it. At least consciously they're not. But that's basically what's going on. Most people today are waiting for something to happen instead of making something happen. And it is going to come. I remember I was working for this company I worked for this company for about 10 years, almost 11 years, and that job ended. It basically ended on me. I thought I was going to have job security there. There was another company that I went to work for. 6 months later, that job ended. Of course, I didn't have the mindset that I have today. But my point in all of this is that unless you are brainstorming, unless you're thinking, unless you're writing these ideas and these thoughts that are coming to your mind, unless you're doing these things, you're going to end up in some kind of problem somewhere, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to get out of it. You see, when we prepare, I often think about the military. The military prepares you before they send you out. People go to college for many years. Of course, many people go to college. They have no idea where they're going, where they're going to end up. But there are those that know what they want, and they train for it. They prepare for it. There's a proverb that goes like this: it's better to be prepared it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to not be prepared and have an opportunity come at you. And I fear that a lot of people today want more, but they're not willing to think. They're not willing to set themselves apart. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. I talk to a lot of people on the phone. And people today are dealing with fear. They're dealing with procrastination. They are comfortable where they are at. People are no longer thinking today. And I hope that you're not in this situation. I hope that you are finding yourself in, I hope that you are training yourself to think, because change will come upon you. Change will come upon you. It could be some kind of a tragic event. It could be a loss of a job, loss of life. It could be a loss of a limb. You know, you could be at the job, you could be at this company for 20 years and you get injured. You know, do you have enough money to live off for the rest of the time that you need to live? You know, there's a few people that have this all planned out, but the majority is, and I guess we need to ask ourselves, I'm asking you the question, do you have a plan B? You know, I talk to people about an opportunity. I talk to people about a business opportunity, and most people, are turning it down. Why? Because they're afraid, because they don't want to spend a few dollars to help get themselves educated. They're programmed. They've been programmed in their mind for a job. And again, there's nothing wrong with having a job. Jim Rohn says that a job or wages will earn you a living, but profits will earn you a fortune. And Jim Rohn talks about working on ourselves more than we work on our job. I didn't understand that, but I understand that more today. Do you work on yourself more than you work on your job? Are you taking the time out to think about or are you doing the necessary, are you taking the necessary steps right now in order to have a plan B in case plan A doesn't work out for you? Or are you waiting for something to happen? Are you waiting for change to be thrown upon you? I tell you, that's the worst situation to be in, when change gets thrown upon you and you're not prepared for it. I'm always talking about mind optimization in my videos. I talk a lot about self-development, about self-mastery. I consider myself a life coach, a victory life coach today. Do I have a thriving practice? No, I don't have a thriving practice. Well, then why do you say that you're a victory life coach? Number one, because I've been able to transform my own life. I am my own client, first of all. And yes, I am making changes in the world. I know that. I have been making changes and I am changing lives. But I can't honestly say that I have a thriving practice yet. I'm getting ready to move in that direction more and more. It's gotten to the place where through thought, through thinking, through brainstorming, I have to do a little bit more. I need coaching in my life, more coaching in my life, even though I do have mentors and coaches. But there's a certain type that I need in my life today. And I'm going to have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk. It's not a bad risk, it's a calculated risk. I'm going to have to make a financial investment in my education. There was a point in time in my life where I couldn't do that. I didn't see paying for my education. I thought everything was free. Yeah, there's a lot of free education out there, but there's nothing like the human touch. There's nothing like the energy, being around energetic people